Okay, so this is no internet hoax. My father bought me this three-wheeler when I was 11 years old in 1983. It's an ATC 185S that I converted to a 200X. I parked it in his barn 20-something years ago. Been riding dirt bikes ever since. So today, 2025, Easter Sunday, I decided I'm going to extract it from this barn and get her running again. And here she is. Sitting like she's been for 20-something years. Tires are flat, pistons probably froze. And my father is a pack rat who has piled all of this stuff in front of it. So I'm going to dig it out. I brought a pancake compressor. We will be lucky if the tires hold air. And then my plan is to roll it onto my rig over here. See you soon. Okay, well, we're getting closer. Found my first BMX bicycle hanging in the rafters. Schwinn, 1979 maybe, you tell me. I can't really call this a barn find because I knew it was in the barn already, but call it a barn find. That seems to be the popular thing to do. And I had installed a 200X front end at some point in time. And it has a rear suspension kit I installed. It was manufactured by ATV High Performance, I think was the name of it. They were located somewhere in California. This wasn't the bolt-on kit that came out in the 80s. This was a cut and weld. I don't even know if does the shock still work. And it sounds like it's got a little juice in it. But look at those cobwebs. All right, stage 2. Well, got my compressor going. This is the first time she's seen sunlight in several decades. White brothers. Custom-made headlight. And I remember I installed a White Brothers 200X high performance carburetor. I guess I won't be getting parts for that anytime soon. I custom painted this gas tank a long time ago. God, it's dust. Jeez. Well, she's got a little bit of compression. I broke the frame jumping it. Me and my buddy welded it back with a piece of angle iron. Well, she's out of her grave. The tires are actually holding air, which is pretty amazing. There's some severe dry rot going on this one. I can't believe it's not hissing. If you hear hissing, it's my old compressor. The twist grip is seized. I think I bought this from J.C. Whitney. God knows when. I robbed the caliper and the disc or something. I'll have to find a new one. Dirt daubers are gonna be missing this one. So bye-bye, grave. Front tire indention, 20 plus years old. Bye-bye, bye-bye. Okay, she has been exhumed and successfully relocated under the supervision of my black lab, Vader. Tires, yeah, that didn't hold air very long. Front has a slow leak in it. You can see the dry rot on it. And this tire here, I can't believe it. It's solid. Got my money's worth out of that. So this other one, I'm going to pump her back up and roll her down into my workshop. If you do not have one of these, I highly suggest you get one. Rigid cordless, 18 volt, I think, inflator. Really nice to have. Well, she's had her first bath in a while. She looks like she cleaned up pretty good. Like this seat cover is still nice and soft. I mean, I must have put this on and then parked it because it hasn't been in the sun. So that looks salvageable. Plastic cleaned up pretty good. This tire is just bubbling. So there's about a pint of gasoline in the tank. It's been there a long time. It smells incredibly awful. So I'll pull the tank and dump it. I'm sure the petcock's no good. And then I'll pull this seat and pull this carburetor out. That was a nice car, the flat slide. I bet I can't. I know I can't get the parts, but we'll figure it out. I think the slide is seized, or maybe it's just a cable. We'll figure it out. Keep you posted. Okay, so she has had her bath. I've removed the seat, the fenders, and the tank. Got her down to this nice rusted exhaust. Still needs some super duper cleaning. But anyway, I pulled the carburetor that I was worried about. Come to find out, it's not that specialized as I had remembered. It is a Mikuni TM 28 millimeter, which they've changed the model number to a VM, I believe. Don't know why, TM, VM. The needle, the float needle seat was really glued in there. And I had to use a pair of pliers and put a lot of pressure on it to get it out, destroying the dried up O-ring, which is now broken and worthless. And I've probably changed the tolerance on this a couple thousandths of an inch. So I went and looked for a rebuild kit for the TM VM 28 millimeter. And in doing so, I discovered a kit was, $40-ish. And while researching that, I discovered that you can buy a Too Fast Moto Taiwanese clone for 50 bucks. Some of you are probably cussing me right now, but Makuni wanted 300 bucks for this card, and it is an exact replica clone so far as the one that I bought in 1990 something from the now non-existent White Brothers Racing. So this is what they look like side by side. Reviews were good. Seemed to be Too Fast, seems to be a reputable parts dealer. I remember having to make a lot of modifications to this with jet. I even changed the needle. I had to go to a different jet needle and a different main jet and a different slow pilot jet. So my plan is to take my mods out of here and put it in here and go with it from there. So we shall see. Working around in my dad's barn, I found this box. And this is the actual box that my weld-in rear suspension kit came in. How many ever years ago? I took a marker and scratched out an address and phone number so people don't come looking for me. But this was High Performance ATV in El Cajon, California. They are no longer there, I suppose. And it had, this is the original taillight. I don't know what happened there. Lost a screw, stripped it out or something. I'll have to figure that out. Original triple clamp tops from the 185S front end that I've replaced with a 200X, and some other bits and pieces of what looks to be junk. I don't know what happened to my air box or whatever that was, but anyway. So that's where I am at this point. I did shoot some starting fluid into the intake and pulled the recoil starter, and I got 2 seconds of combustion. So that was nice, and I did not have a spark plug in my spark plug collection in my shop to fix this thing. So this is actually a very, very, very old NGK spark plug that has life. Amazing. Okay, keep you posted. Well, there you go, Vader. You did it. Congratulations. He's 13, so he breathes heavy. She runs. $50 Makuni clone with 20% Makuni parts. The K&N filter I have on here, the rubber's not rubber anymore. It's just super hard plastic. So I got to get something else because it didn't want to go on the carburetor. And that's Leia, as in Princess Leia. Probably figured that out. So yeah, the recoil starter, kind of, you kind of got to get it, you got to get the dogs to catch before it'll thing, so it needs some rebuilding. The gas cap, this gasket was bad. So I got a new one off eBay, and if you can look in the gas tank, you see that it's kind of not metal. So many, many years ago, the tank started to rust. So there was this stuff called Keen or Cream, spelled with a K, Kreen or something. It was a 3-part thing, and so you poured a solvent into the tank with a handful of nuts and bolts, stuff that was magnetic, and then you shook the tank up real good, and it agitated all that, and broke it up, and then you rinsed it out, and then you mix part A cream with part B cream, like you do epoxy. You pour it in the tank, and then you pick it up every 15-20 minutes, and you would tumble and rotate it and coat it, and it puts this solvent resistant liner in your metal tank, and it cures the rust problem. And it has lasted, I can't believe it's not peeling off or anything, but it looks really good. When I ordered the gasket, you can see this one's just hammered. I ordered it off of eBay, and it's a genuine Honda Motor Company part from China. I mean, you just can't get away from this stuff. It's ridiculous. Never know what you're getting. Found my old Honda Climber manual I used as a reference for many years. And then the last chapter in it was performance upgrades. And there's these companies called PK Racing Products. I think they lasted till 2008 maybe. I think they're gone. There was a company listed here called Powell that made all this stuff. I mean, this is a additional oil cooler kit you could drill and mount on this bike. That's a race cam I actually put in this bike, but I got mine from, like, I think it was called Al Baker's. I don't think they're around anymore. But this is where I got the idea to install a 28 millimeter Mikuni carburetor. This was actually a stroker kit from PK Racing. It says it's from PK and Powell. And you could turn a 185S into a 240cc bike with a big bore and stroker kit. And then here's some other stuff, speedometer. Here is a rear suspension kit made by, this was a bolt-on kit, I believe. And you bolted it on, and it was made by, I think it was made by PK Racing as well. Yeah, this right here, PK Racing. That was a popular kit because you didn't have to do any welding. And there was some other neat stuff in here, chrome stuff. Here's some old notes I made in the back with my own wiring diagram and settings and stuff. Interesting. I think this book's still available. He's taking a break. She runs. Next thing I'm gonna do is, the chain was like, oh, it was junk. Next thing I'll do, I guess I'll find a chain of some sort and get it on it. I'll take it for a test ride. I think I'm gonna have to put a tube in this tire. I'll probably slime the front one. This one's still good. Leia's guarding it with her lightsaber. And I'll take her back down, and I think I'm gonna do some repairs to the frame and have her powder coated and put her back together. And I found a company that has a grab bar, a nice one, and I'll look into that too. Keeping you posted. Hello there. So, Memorial Day 2025. I took the first voyage on the trike in many years. It was quite a ride. Somewhere in moving the wheels around, I got the flat spots like oscillated. So instead of doing this in the rear, it was doing this in the rear. And then the front's got a flat spot, so it was doing this in the front. So not very safe. Ran through all the gears. The shifting's quite stiff. Had to reach down a couple times and use my hand to change the gears. But anyway, we're still celebrating. Got into my paperwork and I found the original title right there. 5/18/1983, I believe. Pretty cool stuff. And here was the bill of sale, 5/18/1983, from Charlotte Honda on Freedom Drive. The bike retailed for $1,150. Dealer prep and freight was $28. And there was $46 of sales tax. So the bike out the door was $1,224. Not anymore. I found the invoice from the 200X front end that I purchased from High Performance ATV in May of 1999. Okay, well, that makes sense. There that is. And then this was the High Performance ATV invoice for the rear monoshock swing arm kit. It was $305 total. Looks like I may have purchased that in '98. And there that is. Pretty cool stuff. Most people lose this kind of stuff. So that's where we are with it now. Definitely some tires to get rid of the flat spots. The motor ran just as I remembered. It's got very good compression, good power, smooth, no hiccups, no valve ticking or anything like that. So I'm pretty happy about that. All right, thank you.